Today on Growing Idaho, there's good news and bad news for the local housing market. We start, though, with some good news. Interest rates are dropping, people. Freddie Mac says the average 30-year loan mortgage rate is 6.47%. That's dropping more than 0.25% in just a week. That is huge. It's still far from rock bottom, but the Mortgage Bankers Association says with these lower rates, refinance applications were up nearly 60% last week over last year. The curious thing is, normally mortgage rates drop significantly when the Federal Reserve drops its key interest rate. That did not happen, so this is more good news. We're seeing mortgage rates dropping despite the Fed keeping that key rate exactly where it is. All this is to try to get inflation under control because it's not where they need it yet, which is bad news.
If the economy remains solid and inflation persists, we can maintain the current target range for the federal funds rate as long as appropriate. If the labor market were to weaken unexpectedly or inflation were to fall more quickly than anticipated, we are prepared to respond.
Now, just a couple weeks ago, the U.S. economy did look like it was slowing down. This is more bad news. The stock markets here and in Europe dipped, while Japan's market had its worst day since 1987. Financial experts say it all goes back to interest rates and what the Fed is not doing.
Part of the issue right there is this belief the Federal Reserve is a bit behind the curve here in terms of cutting interest rates.
So maybe they'll cut that key rate next time. But the big question is, how are all these challenges in the U.S. and world markets affecting our local housing market? Well, here's even more bad news on this graph from Redfin. The median home price for Idaho is up more than 4% over last year to $482,500. That is the black line. The orange line shows the median home price for the Boise area. That is up even more, almost 6% over last year to $535,000. All this while the number of homes sold is down. Regardless, people will almost assuredly keep buying homes around here because we keep making those top 5 lists. Meridian and Boise were both just named to the top 5 places to live in the West by livability. Also, Idaho is the 3rd best state to move to, according to Consumer Affairs. So it's all good news that we live in such an awesome place, but I guess bad news for many because we're going to continue to attract people, which is why maybe this bad news here that agent advice says Idaho is the 2nd best state to move away from is actually good news that it could keep people away, but it won't. We're going to keep growing Idaho, which is why we call it this. And that's just the news, whether you think it's good or bad. Coming up on Wake Up